for the last leg of the journey. You and Thrindil have enjoyed his company, as the old man seems to know a great deal about local lore and doesn't seem to be bothered by the fact that you hobgoblin or that is an elf.
So I ask the old man and Thrindil an important question. Gorgon turns to them and says, so I have a question, and it's something I noticed a lot. Humans seem fond of sarcasm. Why do people do it? Is the point to make you sound like a pretentious asshole?
Thrindil says sometimes that's the case, but it can also be amusing. It can express disdain for a situation. There are many applications for sarcasm.
He lights up his pipe and he says, it seems so backwards to me, saying the opposite of what you're trying to say.
That is true. Humans are a funny bunch.
Well, we both agree on that, my friend. We both agree on that.
Came to Dunford, you sent a piece of correspondence to the owner of the mill, Virgil Rudder, to ask him if you could come and see what he's done with the place. He sent you a response, in which, of course, led you to come to Dunford. Of course, you probably have seen it in the handouts. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been through them.
Okay, so Albie, your driver, takes you to a small inn simply called Darby's and shouts to you from the driver's seat, "This is it, sirs. Fine enough kind of place to spend the night."
Thank you, Albie. Your company on this long journey was greatly appreciated. I thank you for your insights as well.
As you exit the carriage, the man continues talking. "I have me some relatives here that I'll be visiting, but maybe I'll come by this evening and we can have a spot of ale, and you can tell me more about how you hobs woo a lady."
Gorgon says, well, like I was trying to tell you, we don't woo in my... It's very complicated over beer.
Snaps the stirrups as the carriage begins to clatter off down the road. After you make the necessary arrangements at the inn and have a meal, Thrindil turns to you and asks, "So, what now, Gorgon?"
Sorry, so we wrote a letter to... What was his name again?
Virgil Rudder.
Virgil Rudder. And he's given us permission to come visit him?
Yep.
Well, I'd like to see this mill for myself. Of course, water power wouldn't help the Brin out very much, but any sort of machinery seems all right with me.
Very well, says Thrindil.
So he makes...
you make your way... Okay. You make your way through Dunford to the Rudder Mill, a short distance outside of town. The sun is high when you sight the mill. It is a stone structure finely crafted. The wheel turns at a steady rate, and you can hear the sloshing of the water as you grow closer. As soon as you open the doors, you can hear the rhythmic clatter of wood as machines work to spin yarn. The mill is a buzz of activity. Immediately inside is 2 long rows of machines spinning yarn. There are small motes of wool floating in the air that catches the light. The workers are mostly women of varying age. One of the workers approaches you, a young blonde girl with hazel eyes and simple dress. "Is there anything I can do for you?"
He says, "Yes, I'd like to speak to the master of the mill. He's expecting us."
She smiles and nods to you. "I'll be just a moment. I'll get him for you."
Tell him it's Gorgon.
Very, very good. She makes her way to the back of the building to a small stairway. The workers seem all distracted by as they talk to each other, voices muffled by the din of the spinners. A short time later, the blonde girl returns with a gruff-looking man following her down the stairs. He smiles as he approaches you and speaks to the blonde girl briefly. Just show you. Mr. Virgil. Thank you, Karenna. That will be all. He then turns to you. Ah, you must be Gorgon. A pleasure to meet you, sir. I assume you're Trout.
Gorgon holds out his hand for a clumsy handshake.
The man takes your hand and clasps it. I assume your travels went well?
Yes, very. It was very interesting. We had good company along the way. Now tell me, please show me around this mill. I'm excited to see what you've done with it.
I would be more than happy to. He shows you about. He takes you through the entire process. Shows you his machines and how the water wheel powers them. More than that, he tells you his philosophy. He hires many of the farmers from the town to give them a chance at earning some money. He built housing in Dunford for them. All their meals are provided for, and he provides them with a positive working atmosphere.
He said, Gorgon says, that is incredible. All of Hobgoblin society has strived to take care of what we can of our own. So I want to do a quick knowledge engineering check. Is he being as efficient as he could be, or are there any improvements Gorgon could see?
Certainly.
I rolled a nat 1.
So you are kind of amazed at what he's been able to accomplish, and you're sort of surprisingly baffled by the expert craftsmanship of the machinery. You are incredibly impressed.
I wish I could have done this myself, but I must say this is very new. Not a lot of... we don't have a lot of rivers running through the Brin. It's a little too warm. This power system wouldn't work for us.
I see. Well, let's have a closer look at some of these machines. Virgil shows you some of the finer points of the machinery, actually stopping one of them, removing the belt and making the machine work in slow action manually.
He says this
now
is...
we are...
after seeing how it works, he says, this is incredible. Have you tried hooking up a lathe or some sort of mill to this?
He smiles and takes you further into the factory where he has a couple simple lathes spinning bobbins and even a extremely simple doing weaving. He says, this is a prototype. We've just started working on it. It can weave cloth as much as up to 2 times faster than the regular person done by hand.
Incredible. Just simply incredible.
I'm glad you think so. Perhaps you could stay here for a while and might have some suggestions or...
I would love that, in fact. Here, let me show you my crowning achievement to date. He grabs out his brass pocket watch, which is ticking away.
He holds out his hand in offer to take it for closer inspection.
Gorgon allows him to take it. He says, I bought it off a trader when I first entered human lands. It was broken, so I got it for a steal. It took me a while to figure out how it worked and to replace all the broken parts.
He looks it over and holds it up to his ear. expert craftsmanship. You did well to repair it. I am
It was
incredibly
such a shame
impressed.
to see such a beautiful device left to wither away.
I didn't realize that the Brin had such interest in matters of engineering.
He says, "Oh yes, us hobgoblins are all trained. Ever since our reformation about 100 years ago, all hobgoblins have a basic in math and engineering."
I see. So you spend the afternoon being shown around the factory and getting to know Virgil. Now we move to Kassandra. You are casually strolling through the town. I'll take it back to this picture here. You're casually strolling through the town on your way to your uncle's mill. A farmer is bringing his sheep into town to be sheared, and he smiles at you as he leads his flock along the road. Some riders arrive in town. You recognize 3 of the group as local thief takers, from what you understand. There are also several soldiers with them. 2 of the soldiers are slung over horses, and
Well, one's missing a head.
yes, one appears to have been decapitated. They head in the direction of the local undertaker, dismounts, and pulls a long rectangular box out of a saddlebag and begins to set up a strange device that appears to be a plumb bob on a tripod in the center of town. You think it's odd, but approach the men unless you want to. You make your way to your uncle's mill. Luke, you are here, right?
Yeah, I'm listening, sorry.
Okay, good. You make your way to your uncle's mill, but he's busy showing a hobgoblin around the mill. You're surprised to see someone you recognize going up the stairs to your uncle's office. It is none other than Anna Larret.
So what was I doing when I was walking through the town? Like, what was my task that I left?
You were, I assume that you were perhaps at home at your uncle's place, and you were going to visit him at the mill. So on your way through town.
Oh, okay. See, I kind of imagined that I lived in the mill. But that's fine. Okay, so if I'm just going there, I'd imagine that I'm not in my vigilante gear. So I'm going to start heading up the stairs behind Anna.
In the middle of the streets. Okay, Uncle, I'll be right back.
So, when you reach your uncle's office, Anna is moving about, doing some dusting. It seems like she's straightening things up.
Do I notice? You go ahead, Luke.
Yes, you do. You see someone in the room, and it is none other than your old friend Kassandra, as long as you think you recognize her.
Yeah.
I think Kassandra would be kind of speechless for the first couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Do you look different? Like, would I be able to recognize you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's only been a few months. I imagine I look exactly the same.
Okay,
only a few months? Yeah, that's...
I didn't know if your magic transformation, like, changed your physical appearance.
No, not at all.
She's got wings on her heels now. And she's...
Oh yeah, except my skin is jet black.
And I'm a Pegasus.
Sharp teeth.
And there's
I have hooves now.
Yeah, and she's ruling Dark Ichor.
Anna looks over to Kassandra, and for a moment, her face doesn't quite light up as she's sort of overtaken by emotion, but she drops her cloth and heads over to Kassandra and gives her a hug.
Yeah, Cassandra's gonna hug her and say, "Anna, I haven't seen you in so long."
I'm really sorry, Kassandra.
What are you doing in Dunford?